Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm sharing with you the top 3 reasons why you should invest in Kansas City real estate. If you've ever wanted to know the single most important thing about investing in real estate, stick around until the end of the video. I'm going to share one thing I wish I knew before buying my first investment property. In fact, I'm on location at the very first rental that I purchased, and I'm going to talk numbers specifically on this rental with you. I'm Joe Nelson of the Nelson Home Group, Google's highest rated real estate team in Kansas City. Let's get right into it. Reason number 1 why you should invest in Kansas City real estate is just how well that investment can appreciate. I'm actually standing in my very first rental that I ever purchased today, and I purchased this in 2016 for $56,000, and it has at least doubled in value since then. I've since done a cash out refinance, so we are cash flowing about $200 a month and taking the equity out to buy another rental that cash flows about $400 a month. In total, both properties have seen an appreciation of about $100,000 off an initial investment of $20,000 and cash flowing about $600 per month. We've covered before how housing in Kansas City is much more affordable than most of the metros in the United States. Well, the housing market is also rapidly growing. As of November 2023, the average sales price in Kansas City has risen an average of 4.2% over the last year. What does that mean for you? Let's say you bought a home in Kansas City in November of 2022 for $336,000. Now it's 2023 and that same home is listing for $350,000, and that's not even taking into account any improvements that you may have made that would boost its worth even more. That's $14,000 of equity in just 365 days. It's not a hard and fast science, but a smart investor with the right representation can turn tens of thousands of dollars and a profit within a year on just a few houses, and those resale values are climbing year after year. Even if you aren't an investor looking to flip or keep it as a rental, the home you buy for yourself or your family is still building value over time. When you decide it's time to buy again, that equity can give you a boost on a down payment, saving you on interest rates and expanding your purchasing budget big time. The second reason Kansas City real estate is a good investment is the stability and diversity of the local economy. Now, why is that important when we're investing in housing? The truth is, the real estate market is reliant on more than just a single industry. Major companies and a thriving job market are huge driving factors in the demand for housing, whether renting or buying. Kansas City economy covers everything from healthcare to technology to manufacturing to hospitality and more. This diversity acts as sort of a self-corrector and mitigates the risk of an economic crash that comes with dips in specific sectors. When one sector starts a downturn, there are a ton of others within the same economy that remain either only slightly or completely unaffected to keep the metro going strong. A less dramatic fall in buying power means a more stable housing market. Simply put, there will always be a need for roofs over people's heads, meaning you will rarely have occupancy issues. While this property currently sits empty, I have more messages that I can even respond to from interested tenants. The third reason for investing in Kansas City real estate is a big one if you're someone looking for passive income. Kansas City has a strong rental market, so when you take the affordability, a stable economy, and add in a growing population, you've cooked up a demand for rental units. We're one of the few housing markets in the US where an investor can obtain an investment loan of up to 75% of the appraised value and still cash flow every month after expenses. The demand to buy housing has been consistently higher than the inventory available, which allows you as an investor to provide a housing solution while earning passive income by renting out your property. Kansas City also not only has a strong long-term rental market, but there's a lot of demand for short-term rentals as well. You do have to be careful there because different municipalities have different rules and laws around that, but there are many investors turning a larger cash flow off of short-term rental situations. Both of these options have their pros and cons. For example, as a short-term rental landlord, you'll be a lot more involved in the day-to-day tasks of turning tenants over often. Or if you leverage to a property management company, you're going to see more of your monthly income going out in property management expenses, which will reduce the profit of the bottom line. As a long-term rental landlord, you're going to see less money coming in every month, possibly, but it's more consistent, more guaranteed, and you're not going to be involved near as much on a day-to-day aspect. You you get a good tenant in there, you might hear from them just a couple times a year. So it's a lot more hands-off as a long-term rental owner. Okay, maybe you're watching this and you're starting to get a little excited. You see the potential to maximize your net worth. What is the best thing you can do to make sure that happens? When I bought my first investment property, one thing I personally wish I knew then that I know now, and probably the biggest thing you can take away from this video is this: worry less about the cash flow and pay more attention to the investment in the long term. I wish I would have leveraged myself at a higher level earlier on and bought even more properties. I was too focused on the cash flow, the money in and out of my pocket in the short term. Real estate investing is a long-term strategy that can have huge payoffs if done correctly. Keep in mind, you have a fixed mortgage payment every month, but rent often goes up year after year, so those cash flow numbers can be really tight at first, knowing that in just a few years, that gap is gonna get wider and wider, which means more cash flow and more money in your pocket. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you've learned a lot from this video. I would love to hear your thoughts about investing in the Kansas City real estate market. Let me know in the comments below. If you want more KC real estate and lifestyle content, make sure to click that like button and subscribe to our channel. And if you're interested in buying an investment property or simply moving to KC, reach out. My team would love to be your real estate experts of choice. Our contact information is in the description below. Kansas City really is one of the best markets in the entire country to buy long-term and short-term rentals that will cash flow. If that's you, reach out to us today.